analysis and thoughts and fun that you need. Now, whether you are digesting every single second of League of Legends content, or you are like MNTuka17 in our YouTube chat that sent, I meant to watch Worlds Live and I accidentally slept for 10 hours. Don't worry. We have a 1-hour digest just for you. We will be here if you only have an hour to spare or less to catch up on everything that happened. Tyler and I are here with you. And Tyler, I see a slight smile on your face. I see a glimmer in your eye, my friend. You seem happier than usual.
I'm relieved, Arda. I'm relieved. I've been watching North American League of Legends for a long time. World's tiebreakers give me PTSD, especially Team Liquid. I was there last year in Berlin when Team Liquid was there against Invictus Gaming. Maybe one of the most awesome fan experiences you could ever have. The two chanting sides, the Liquid fans and the Chinese IG fans who traveled from China to be in Berlin, both chanting back and forth for probably 40 minutes straight until the game started. Like the hype, whoever won was going into the knockout round, the loser was going home, and Team Liquid got stomped. A unimaginable stomping. It was one of the most one-sided games in World's history. So coming to today, even though it was Oceania and Legacy, I was still very worried. Team Liquid already made a choke. They played so well the entire playing stage, perfectly almost, until they lost to INTZ out of the blue, through a game they should have won, even if their comp was a bit wonky. And I was scared, Arda. I was very scared that Team Liquid was going to somehow fall into the playoff play-in stage and have to play, most likely, LGD for a spot in the main event. But thankfully, this year, Team Liquid was the Invictus Gaming, and Legacy Esports was the Team Liquid, because this was also one of the most one-sided games in World history. It was a blowout from start to finish. It was an incredible stomping by Team Liquid.
That's right. Tyler said a Team Liquid have qualified for groups. They won Group A in a tiebreaker on our ESPN League of Legends predictor. Only 17% of players picked Team Liquid to win Group B. And by the way, you can join that. Go to ESPN.com/League of Legends predictor. Sign up for free. Invite your friends. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I liked your analogy of Team Liquid being like a business. Team Liquid Incorporated, if you will. So using that as a theme, can you describe to us Team Liquid's day as business people?
They showed up to the building. They were set and ready to go. They were ready. They had a big matchup, as we talked about yesterday. We previewed the Turkish versus Nene matchup. The two regions still, undefeated in the playing stage. Supermassive looking amazing in their first two games. Team Liquid, as we said, taking care of business, rolling over the teams that they thought they should beat, especially Mad Lions. And a game that I think a lot of people thought Mad Lions would come in and kind of be the number one team in this group. And Supermassive, even though they were a very good team, Team Liquid, like they've done to Legacy Esports and Mad Lions, they controlled them. From start to finish, it was a very controlled game where it felt like Team Liquid never really felt out of their control. It felt like they knew the script from start to finish, and they went from the beginning to the end without many, issues of getting there. So at that point, I was like, I was telling my producer this. I was like, let's do a segment where I proclaim Team Liquid is the greatest play-in team of all time. And that might sound silly. It's like the greatest play-in team of all time. I will say, this is the hardest play stage we've ever had, especially with, the major region teams playing each other. I think a lot of people would say Damwon from last year. And while I would say Damwon from last year is a better team than this Team Liquid squad, Team Liquid's had at that point a better overall performance. Damwon did drop a game in the playing stage last year, if you don't remember. They came back and rolled the rest of them, but they did drop a game. So I was like, Team Liquid looks so good. They're destroying everyone. I was on my high horse, so optimistic. I was going to the moon, Arda. And then they throw to INTZ, the Brazilian team who was 0-3 at the time. They had a 4K gold lead, and it all fell apart. They got caught out. They were Impact was playing the weak side of the map too aggressively, got caught out. And that kind of snowballed. Broxah got cut out on Lilia about 3 different times. Tactical got caught out, clearing the mid wave on Ashe, with no escapes to his name, with no flash, no Thresh Lantern to save him. there was these little small mistakes. I was like, oh my god, this is North America. My mind had been clouded by like the positivity and optimism. I was like, man, this is really North American World Championship, right? This is NA Classic at Worlds. So that game brought me down. And then finally, thankfully, Team Liquid, as you do, they went into the last game angry, mad, and just destroyed Legacy. It was not close. It was one of the biggest stomps we've ever seen at Worlds. It was like a top team beating down a smaller team. And Legacy had beaten every other team in the group except Team Liquid. In both games against Team Liquid, Legacy looked half of what TL are. And it was a draft where TL picked for Lane Kingdom. They basically said, if this goes to late game, Legacy's team fighting is going to beat us. They have a better team fighting composition. They have the Galio. They have the Ornn, who was undefeated at the time. It looked very troublesome if Team Liquid didn't stomp early. Thankfully, though, they stomped early, and they just rode the wave and just never let Legacy up from the mat. It was a quick knockout, and they just kept pummeling Arda. It was like a UFC fight. It was like Brock Lesnar versus me. It was not pretty. It's like me versus Brock Lesnar. I'm Legacy. Brock Lesnar is Team Liquid, and they just smashed me in the face for 20 minutes straight until they ended it.
That's like the biggest discrepancy in history, you versus Brock.
Brock's tough, man.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Team Liquid move on, and we'll talk about Legacy in a little bit. But a sigh of relief, like you said, for NA fans is now all 3 NA teams will be participating in the group stage. And we'll talk a little bit later on when we get to your NA optimism. We're not going to spoil it here, but we'll play a little fantasy because there are really only 2 groups that Team Liquid can go into, and we will sort of hypothesize how they would do in those groups later on. But let's shift our focus, and actually before we do that, I do want to go back to the ESPN League of Legends predictor. Join along. If you haven't done so, you can do so for free. Invite your friends. It's free to play. You go to espn.com/League of Legends predictor. There are thousands of you that are playing the game right now, and you make picks every single stage. So play-ins, groups, playoffs, and the finals. Dare I tell you, Tyler, what place I am in? I started at 615th. I thought that was bad.
Yeah.
Currently, I sit with a whopping 10 points, Tyler. 3,089th.
Not the worst. Not the worst. I mean, just like Turkey today, you didn't have the best day. Turkey, in the entirety, did not have the best day.
No.
I, on the other hand, just like North America, I'm in the top 500. Not amazing, not great. I had a bit of a hiccup, but I'm still on path. I'm still going to the group stages with a chance to get the top spot.